Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Leon from No More Lines. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, leave a like and a comment, and watch the video to the very end. So in this video, I wanted to show and showcase to you all my Hitbox arcade that I swapped out the art for. And this is just my experience. It's not going to be a tutorial on how to do it. I will go over the steps, but I'm not going to actually do everything. But I just wanted to share with you all just how everything worked out. So this is the PlayStation 4 PC version of it, the most recent copy of it. It has the SOCD cleaning and everything else. It retails at $250 plus shipping. And what I did was I bought the plexiglass from Hitbox itself. For those that are unfamiliar, this is the original plexiglass here. But you'll see that this is all one piece. And the Hitbox logo itself is actually a part of the plexiglass itself. So in order to get a new art template, you have to basically get a clear plexiglass. So the one I ordered from Hitbox is just like this one, but it's a clear version of it. And then when I ordered it, it got here in a couple days. And that's the first component that you need. The second component is, of course, your art itself. Focus Attack has a link on their website where you can upload your own version or your own art. And Hitbox has a template where you can basically add in your art, stretch it out. You can use any program such as Photoshop or GIMP too in order to go ahead and add in your art to it. Make sure that your template is correct. Follow the steps. What's good about Focus Attack is that when I initially messed up on it, they actually told me that it was wrong, and they went ahead and they fixed it for me. So that way I didn't have to potentially mess up something. Unless you're familiar with this, I would definitely probably just use Focus Attack first. They're probably a little bit cheaper versus you going to your own local shop and potentially messing something up, because unfortunately every time that you mess up something, you're gonna have to pay for it anyway. So it's probably better to just use Focus Attack unless you're familiar with how to set it up. So Focus Attack went ahead and they did it for me. They told me I messed up at first. I fixed it. They went ahead and redid everything. I got it within a week. So the whole process was about a week from me purchasing it. It's a pretty good price, it's like $15. So I'd say for the entire process, including these rivets here, because I don't know if you've noticed, these rivets here are black. The original ones are white. Focus Attack also sells those as well. So for the whole thing, I say about $50 for everything. And I think that's a really good price. Now that doesn't include installation, but installation I think is pretty straightforward. Like I said, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. There are plenty of websites that show you how to actually do it and set it up. But as you can see, this is really beautiful. I love how it turned out. So I'll show you real quick what you have to do as far as getting the controller part. So your Hitbox comes with an Allen wrench key. You're gonna basically take off these two screws, and these actually come out. So you basically unscrew these, and they come out. Then this metal plate is gonna come off. Just take the metal plate off. Then from there, you're gonna have to take your buttons out. Now, for those that are unfamiliar with those quick disconnects, they're extremely hard to get off. Some people even said that their quick disconnects will actually break. I didn't have that problem. What I did was I took the buttons out, and then when I took them out, I basically was able to get enough force on the button by holding one in one hand, using a t-shirt, and pulling on the quick disconnects at the base. And what I mean at the base, it's not the part that connects to the part that connects to the end, but the more solid part. I just pulled that out, and they actually came out. They're a little bit easier to come off once you've done it a couple times, because I've changed these buttons out before. For those that are unfamiliar, these white buttons, or these red buttons were actually white, and these black buttons were actually red. So I went ahead and changed the buttons out. I had that nightmare when I first changed the buttons out, but for the most part, they all came out relatively easy. And one thing to make note of is that when you put your new buttons in, since they're brand new, you gotta make sure that they actually are flush with the bottom of the actual plexi. So you want to push them down as hard as you can to ensure that they actually are going there easily. So once you taken the buttons out, what you want to do is you want to actually label each one of your buttons, and you want to use a piece of tape or use a sticky note to ensure that you label them, so when you put your case back together, it's real easy to wire everything back up again. Once you take the buttons out, these 4 rivets, or these, I'm sorry, that there are a total of like 10 rivets. That there are 10 total rivets here. You're gonna basically get a flathead screwdriver, and you're gonna press out the rivet. So each one of those rivet holes on the back side, you're gonna basically get a flathead screwdriver and push them out, and then basically the rivets are gonna come out, and you don't have any risk of breaking them unless you're really forceful with them, but you can actually reuse them if need be. But what I did was I went ahead and bought some black rivets. You see that all these are black now. They also are on focus attack as well. And for those that don't know, these buttons are on focus attack too. You can buy the buttons individually, or you can buy them in a set. I actually bought these red buttons on Amazon. If you want to purchase these yourself, I'll link them in the description box. What I basically did, I kind of cheaped out. I only bought 6 buttons from Amazon, and I took 2 of the buttons from my previous buttons here, and I moved them over. And I just cleaned them out and everything and moved them over. And for those that don't know, these black buttons were actually red, and these red buttons were actually white on the original hitbox itself. So yeah, so after you go ahead and you pull out the rivets, you basically are going to take your this piece of plexiglass, the clear one, and you're going to basically take your art and line it up underneath the plexiglass. One thing I recommend doing is you wanna use a towel, or you want to use gloves to make sure that there's no dirt or anything up under the plexiglass, the surface between the plexiglass and the art. Because unfortunately, once you put it in there, you're gonna have to take it out. It's just better to just make sure that it's as clean as possible. Because the only thing that's gonna really potentially get dirty is maybe like this part here towards the edge. But you want to kind of make it as clean as possible, as far as dirt or anything like that. And then as you can see, there are a couple little slight scratches on it, but that's actually on the top side. I'm gonna try to find something that could potentially like clean the scratches. I don't know if wax would work or not. It might work if I could just use a little bit of wax, or maybe even a little bit of like the cleaner that you put on cars and things like that to fix swirls and things like that. I think that would work here, but it's not really visible unless you really like look up on it really hard, in my opinion. Yeah, so basically you're gonna do that, and then you're gonna put the rivets back in here. Now one thing that I didn't do, that I messed up on, is that the rivets themselves, there's actually 2 pieces. There's a female part that goes into the actual hole itself, and there's a male part, this cap here, that goes on top. You're gonna basically put in the female part first, or the bottom part. You're gonna line them up, and then you're gonna snap them in, and then you're gonna hear an audible snap. That snap is gonna tell you that it's secure in there, and it's gonna be flush. Also too, when you look on the underside of the case, you'll notice that the same way that your old rivets looked, how there's a little small piece that was kind of sticking out on the back side, you're gonna see it on your new rivets. That tells you that it's secure in there and it's locked on. And I love how this feels. And maybe that plexi, it just feels a little different. Cause this is smooth too, but the material is just a little different. I guess maybe it's a little old. But this plexi, it feels really good. I love how it feels. You can see smudges and stuff like that, but it's not really too much. and it does have kind of a reflective surface, but you can kind of see how rich that image is. I think Focus Attack does a really good job of making sure that that image comes out really well. So yeah, I'm gonna link all these things in the description box. Like I said, I think this came out perfect. I don't really see anything wrong with this. I don't. I think it came out perfect. I really do. I really do think it did. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know if you've done this before, if you had any problems with it. Overall, I did mine in like 30 minutes, the entire process. Now, like I said, I changed my buttons out before. You're gonna probably have the most trouble with your buttons, but just make sure that you label your actual wires and your buttons and everything. Take your time. Make sure that you line everything up correctly, and once you're done, you will be satisfied with how this looks. And like I said, I think this is one of the best mods to like do with a hitbox. And I left mine unlabeled without the hitbox because I just like how this is set up. And I love how I can reuse this template, because I might actually probably use this hitbox template for something else. For those that don't know, I made a video recently about a treasure box that I made, where I actually took a treasure box and I turned it into all 30 millimeter button treasure box. I may actually make another treasure box that has a hitbox type layout, and I'm gonna actually use this this template for that, so I don't have to go and set that up again and find a paper template. This is a more consistent version of it. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section. You have a blessed day. You take care.